Hello, everyone. Welcome to Perspectives of a Dom and Sub. I'm Kez, a mistress dominant.
And I'm Nami, a brat submissive.
So last week we kind of discussed a lot of juicy things. Our main topic of the week was sort of the aftercare, but we also went into BDSM terminology, and just kind of like an introduction to this new little podcast project we're doing.
And this week we are going to be talking about communication and negotiation and what that means for us in this community.
So we've got like lots of things in store for today. But first, let's let everyone know what we're smoking on today.
Okay. I am smoking on garlic cookies. It's an indica dominant. I think it's like a crossbred between GMOs, something, and cookies, but it's really good. I've been trying it out this week. I bought like a half an ounce of it, and it pretty much knocks me on my butt. I like it a lot.
Nice. And I was, that looks so good. I just took an edible. This is Mr. Moxie's Mints. This is in cinnamon, actually. And the only way I can really like ingest edibles now is with mints, because you don't taste any of it and it goes down so smooth. It's such a great edible. And I'm also smoking some Durban Poison by Ravengrass Farms. Oh my God, this is like one of my favorite strains, and I think I've told you this too, is Durban Poison for concentrates, but I'm finding a love of it with flower too.
I did a blog post about Durban Poison. It's like one of my favorite strains. Oh, it's so good. It's a good strain.
And I've got like some vapes right here. I've got a Plain Jane CBD vape right here, and then an MK Cherry by Avataz. That's just more so just a straight THC kind of thing. Yeah.
I'm gonna take a hit.
Okay, now I gotta take a hit out of my bong. You got one more in you?
Yep.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Cheers. That was a little baby hit. No clouds over here. So we are going to talk about our DS dynamic updates. What's going on, Nami?
So I think last time I was talking about my DSA update was with anal training, and I'm pretty much still doing that, but we have been on a break for most things because of life issues, but I have been trying to keep up. I usually do it every day, but this week I think I did 2 times a week. Well, 2 times this week. And it's pretty much the same of where I've been. I've been just kind of just relaxing, and there's been so much other stuff going on that I haven't been able to keep on with it, but hopefully I don't get in trouble for it, because I don't think my dom knows that I haven't been keeping up with it, so I might be outing myself right now.
Well, you really could be outing yourself.
Yeah, but it's okay.
You'll get the punishment.
Yep. So what's been up with you?
We haven't done training in about like 2 weeks, I think. We've just both been in not the best of headspaces due to like stress and just mental health issues. And so I never want to enter a scene when we're not there completely. So he's not in state right now. He's taking a little vacation. So when he comes back, definitely. And I'm going to have our colored rope ready for our little, what is it called? Like those rites of passage after like a certain amount of time.
Oh,
We talked a little bit about that last time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What color is he moving to now?
He's moving to purple. So he was at blue, which he never got the blue rope. That's just a foul on my part, which I will tell every dom who's doing anything like that to really be consistent and really follow through, because it can do a lot for your relationship. Thankfully, it hasn't really affected our relationship, me not being on time with the blue rope, but he'll get both of them when he gets the purple one.
He'll get double presents, and it'll be double nice.
Yes, absolutely.
Today's topic is negotiation and communication, right?
Oh, yeah.
Today's topic.
Important parts
of
any BDSM dynamic.
Honestly, it should be the important part, of any relationship.
Well, but you would be surprised of how many people don't actually know how to do that.
Yeah, I know. It's communicate or negotiate, and I'm like, I don't know. So what is the importance of
important of negotiation and communication? Oh my gosh, it literally, I cannot stress how important it is. It is integral to any healthy relationship, and especially within BDSM dynamics. You need to negotiate what's going on in your relationship and communicate consistently.
Yeah, it's pretty much that. I feel like negotiation and communication, though it's pretty much self-explanatory, because you have to negotiate pretty much saying, oh, this is the stuff I like, this is stuff I don't like, and this is not something you just do once. This is something you do throughout the relationship, however long it lasts, because you're constantly going to be changing, and you're going to have to negotiate. You might find something now that you like and that you want to bring to the table, or something that you no longer like and would like to take off the table, and without no negotiation you can't change those terms. So
it changes constantly. What you don't like, what you accept within that relationship, and what you don't.
Because it can also, those negotiations can make you see if you even want to still be in that relationship, because you might just be oh, it's something that your dom or your sub has to have that you no longer are willing to give, and you're just okay, maybe we might have to rethink this. You might have to whatever. So
especially if your BDSM dynamic is also a relationship, that not communicating or negotiating within a scene can have such an effect on your relationship as a whole.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Have you ever had any bad communication with any of your doms, or I don't know if you've always been a dom. Have you always been a dom?
I've always been a dom.
So
with being a bottom and experimenting with being a sub, and it's cool at first, but then I can't. It doesn't get me being a dom does. Yeah.
But have you ever had any bad communication with your sub, and you don't find out until later that you guys miscommunicated?
Not in major ways, just in how the session would be conducted. conducted in terms of like order of things or whatnot. It hasn't been like big things that's greatly affected our relationship, but it can cause like some hiccups.
I'm trying to think if I've had that. I feel like I've had pretty decent DOMs where they like are really good with communicating. I'm trying to think of like any stories that I have with miscommunication. I think negotiation. When I was first starting, I thought I had to say yes to everything. I thought like, whatever the Dom said I'm supposed to do, and it's like it doesn't really matter if I like that or not. And I felt like I would keep it to myself and just be like, oh, I don't really like this, but I don't know how to bring it up because he's the one that's supposed to know best for me, and I guess. And so
that's something. Hold on a second.
No problem.
But that's something that I do see whenever I scroll through the BDSM subreddit. Everyone's like, well, this Dom wants this and this and this, and I don't think I'm comfortable with this, but like what he says goes. And like, is this abuse or is this like fine?
Yeah.
And unanimously, everyone says this is fucking abuse. You need to negotiate the terms of your relationship, what your soft and hard limits are. Coming back to when we talked about BDSM terminology. And you can change your mind. And you can say, no, you have that right.
Yep. I feel like it's something that, like this is not taught to like most submissives, even though like you're not really taught things, you have to like feel it out. But I just feel like when you're taught, like when it's brung up to you, you're like, oh, submissives are supposed to be, they're supposed to submit, they're supposed to do whatever. But that's why they never like show about submissives' power. Like you have a voice still, and you have the right to consent and say no, and I just feel like they just need to learn that. Learn their voice.
But then like there's so many newbies that come into the lifestyle and then they get swept up by predators.
Yep.
Because they're new, they want to experiment, they don't know what's on the up and up, and they get taken advantage of, they get abused. And that's just a cycle that gets repeated. And subs don't know their, and I hesitate to say rights, but their rights.
You're right as a submissive.
That dynamic is a consensual one that requires consent and negotiation. Come back to this word.
Yeah, negotiation. Yeah, because because like of course you can have like, and I feel like negotiation has to do with like soft nose and like, because of course you shouldn't have to negotiate for your hard nose should be, that's something you're not going to do. You shouldn't have to negotiate for that. But the soft ones is just like you have to figure out, wait, how often do you do negotiations?
I do negotiations every time before a scene.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll like have an initial official one where we talk about what we want to do, how we want to do it. Not like too specific where that element of control comes in and that element of submission comes in, that lack of control. But enough to like know like you are consenting to what is happening. Nothing is left out. Unless it directly comes in conflict with that control aspect.
I do me and my dom do negotiations usually after a scene or a play, just to touch bases and just to like see if anything changed after the scene, any feelings changed or stuff like that after the scene. We do it usually every time we have a scene. It's a regular thing. It's not a like once in a blue moon type thing. It's a every time thing.
do you feel like it should be an every time thing?
Yeah, so we have a good limit because we are in a relationship and in the lifestyle. We kind of have our like vanilla sex days, so not like every time we have sex is like a scene. Sometimes it's just a couple having sex with there's no real dynamic, I guess. In that moment, it's just whatever goes, and then we have our scenes, and that's when we do our negotiations. So it's not like we don't do it every time we have sex, just every time we have a scene, and I feel like that keeps it at the happy medium for me, where I feel like it's not happening too much, and we can still like have a relationship and have our BDSM lifestyle. Like you can separate them but keep them together.
Yeah, if that's something that you communicated about, I bet.
Uh-huh.
Because we also have our negotiations like right before the scene, so that official one, and then right before.
Mm-hmm.
And we do something a lot of people call porch time, and I talked about this in our last episode together. That will kind of talk about a variety of things that includes what our personal like vanilla relationship is and how that's going, and kind of our fears or wins or whatever it may be, just really discussing the vanilla relationship. And then we talk about what's going good or bad about the BDSM dynamic, the table dynamic.
And I feel like that's something we have to make clear, that like not everyone that's in the BDSM relationship is in an actual like relationship with the person. It could be just there for the BDSM, and then they have their own separate lives. That's where there's multi layers to this, because I feel like people are gonna be like, you're talking about like two different relationships. Isn't a BDSM relationship a relationship? And I was like, yeah, but some people don't have the what we call the vanilla side of it. Some people are just the BDSM side.
And on a similar note, that BDSM does not have to include sexual intercourse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any kind of sexual intercourse. It can just be play.
Mm-hmm. Like I think I know someone who's like who's into pet play, and they're not together, but he goes there just for scenes to act like a pet, and so that's what he does, and then he goes back to like his vanilla life and his vanilla part of himself, and then he's that person. So
some people like to keep them separate. Some people like to put them together. And some people wear BDSM as their entire identity. Mm-hmm. How they define themselves, how they live their lives. It's full 24/7 lifestylers.
Some people have it as a career.
I mean, that would be a fun career though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like we went through all the topic. Like,
how do you negotiate?
How do I like? Think. What do you? I feel like I need an example of like, what do you mean? Like, so.
What does that look like for you? Like, how does that start and how does that end?
Okay, so like I said, we do at the end of our scenes, and it mostly has to do with we sit down and we kind of just talk. We talk, and then we kind of like talk out the scene, where like we're like, okay, this is the things that happened during the scene, and is anything that's new, like anything that happened that you didn't like, anything that happened that you did like, and we were just like, okay, well, and then he'll write it down, and then he'll be like, okay, so is this a new limit? Is this a new yes? Is there anything I can do more? And then he'll say what he liked, and pretty much the same thing, and we'll just like see the list together and see what the things that we can work on and we can talk on and that we can bring to our BDSM table. And that's pretty much what we do. That's pretty much our negotiation process. And then we just go about our day.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
When the bulk of it is before the scene, where we call it a session. And so we'll kind of talk about what we're gonna do in that session. Like we want to do some impact play. We're just gonna use the riding crop or the cane. We got a little candy cane for a little Christmas themed play. But we've kind of done mostly like position training, some impact play. We're kind of coming up with some sensation play.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of like easing into the big stuff. And so we'll kind of say like we're gonna do a spanking scene. This is the precedent, like before we did no eye contact. If you look at me, then it's this kind of punishment, and you need to be in this position, and this is how you need to ask. And so, and even like that's within the session too.
Yeah.
I will like prime we're gonna do this next.
Okay. So yours is more like negotiating each scene. So what's gonna happen in that exact scene? So yours reminds me. It's going back to porn. So like in the beginning of Kink, they ask like they pretty much do that same thing. Like the girl's on the chair and they're like, okay, so this is gonna be this scene. We're gonna be doing this place, and then they'll just be like, okay, and you said you were okay with this. Are you still okay with this? Are you still okay with that? Are you still okay with that? Oh, we do that too. So yeah, I get it. I get what you mean.
And we do like a review of what the safe word and the safe sign is.
Yeah.
And do a review of what was learned, and that kind of like transition leads into the session. So it's kind of like a ritual every time, and then there's a ritual to end the session.
Oh yeah. Okay, I got you. I see you.
Yes. Negotiation can really like build a lot of trust.
Mm-hmm.
It is that mutual empathy of we both need to be on the same page, and I care about your well-being, and if there's something that you don't want to do, we're not going to do that. And if this is something you really want to do, well, now I know what you really want to do, and I can decide whether I want to do that or not. Yeah, it's fluid, it's dynamic, but it should always be
consensual. Like that's gonna be the thing that we're gonna say a lot is just like consent. It's gonna always, I feel like in every episode we're just gonna be like, well, this is consensual. You have to consent to everything that's happening.
Consent and communication are my 2 C words. The best C words. But they're the best C words. Communication. Communication is like absolutely the most important.
Because it's the only way you're gonna know is by communicating. No one, you can't read minds. You can't expect them to know your body's always gonna tell language, but you can't expect them to read your body language. You have to communicate. You have to say exactly what you mean.
Exactly what you mean, and not assume anything.
Nope.
Stop externalizing blame. Take responsibility.
Yep. Just talk.
And it's hard because it's so much vulnerability.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Admit when you're wrong. It's hard to like be open about what you want and what you need. What you desire.
And you just let people just do whatever. Just talk. Just communicate. It's important. It's how you get what you want, and it's not like anyone's gonna suffer. Everyone can get what they want. So yeah.
Everyone can get what they want, or at least learn to compromise in a
True.
way that gives everyone equal opportunity. Oh my gosh, I'm so high. This edible. It's like, it has not been that long. Like, just smack me, like, bitch slap me in the face.
But you're taking the vape too, so you know. Uh-huh.
And I need another hit.
You take another hit.
Cheers. Oh yeah. My lungs are not what they used to be.
Oh, mine's either.
Oh yes. And any other disclaimers or considerations you have in terms of like negotiation and communication, like important takeaways?
Important takeaways? Communicate. Just talk. Just make sure that everything that's happening before, well, in the scene is something that you still want to do. At least for the sub side, just remember that your voice still matters and you still have to consent and enjoy everything that's happening to you. Any last words for the doms out there?
Oh my goodness. Do not use the power that you have to demean, to put down, to invalidate, to manipulate, especially within your communication. And that includes, like, I know a lot of dogs will gaslight their subs. Get the fuck out of here. Just value each other as humans, and that's like a really important consideration.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what you have to get for this episode, is just make sure everyone is on the same page and same equal terms when going into the scene.
And communicate often.
Yes, often.
I think like once every 2 weeks is not enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough. It's gotta be like every week.
Every week. Just always. Your brain, you're always changing. So yeah, communicate. Okay. So,
and up next we've got some Q&A questions that we're gonna answer, so stay tuned.
Yes. Let me pull up these questions. So I have one that says, how do you know if the lifestyle is right for you?
Good question. I still don't know the answer to that.
I just say, if you're curious, then try it out. And if you don't like it, just, it's not for you. I don't, there's no way of knowing it's right for you without trying it.
So kind of the first thing that comes to my mind is, what does ready mean?
Yeah.
How do you measure ready?
True.
It's not some standard that you have to meet to be ready. It's kind of, I guess, how resilient you can be, how confident you are in what your wants and needs are, and creating boundaries, I think, are the most important things when being ready for this lifestyle, because it is that type of lifestyle where you have to know what you want and what you need.
Yeah, it is.
And you also have to watch out for red flags and watch out for predators who will take advantage of you. So I think for me, those are important. Those are important standards.
Yeah, it's definitely something you have to, like, I don't want to say like be ready, but like you have to understand what goes in this community to, like, I guess, be ready. Like, yeah.
Absolutely.
So I would say research what you're into.
Look up videos, find mentors, connect with other people in the community.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, connect with other people, community, tell them, have them talk to you about it. Yeah.
Mhm. Oh yeah, join groups. The
Yeah.
more
There's
social
websites.
communities, the better. The better.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh,
And are we ready for our next question?
yeah.
Alright. Can someone explain a 24/7 dynamic for me? I know it's all different depending on the people involved, but does anyone mind explaining the basics? And this is a question from the BDSM subreddit. What is your take on this, Nami?
Well, 24/7, just, I guess it just means that you bring the kink to your, I guess, normal life, your outside life. And that's what I feel like that's what 24/7 means to me. It just means you don't keep it in the bedroom. This is your lifestyle. This is what you like wear proudly everywhere and anywhere. But it doesn't have to be like super. It can mean whatever you want to you. Like, I know some people have indoor collars and then the outside collars where it's like a necklace or like a chain or something smaller that's not very bold, but those people are still considered 24/7. They're still doing the dynamic outside.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, when I think about 24/7 dynamics, I think about how, like the post said, like everyone does it differently, and so it could be just 24 hours, it could be a couple of days, it could be a couple of weeks, a couple of months. I kind of just look at it as a multiple day session or
Yeah.
multiple day scene. Everything that occurs has been negotiated, whether that's through consistent communication within that 24/7 dynamic or within the contract that the Dom and the sub can create together.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty much. I feel like it's pretty much what we just said. I feel like that one is just.
Simple, straight to the
Yeah, simple to a point.
It's just whatever you want to include in your 24/7 dynamic. I know my sub has a different collar for 24/7 dynamic
Oh, okay, yeah.
sessions. And so it's a bracelet. And I feel like the more subtle it is, the better it is for that control aspect. Like, it's the sub that knows what it's for
Uh-huh.
and what that represents.
Oh, nice. So, you are 24/7 with him sometimes.
Sometimes we haven't done a full 24/7 situation yet, but that is there for that.
Mhm.
I think we're gonna do more of that after the 6-month mark.
Okay.
Right now it's just that training phase, getting to know each other and how we work in a dynamic.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. The next question I have is, okay, I got confused when you were talking about dominance and submission. Are those like roles you play? Yeah. So I guess we should. Yeah, I feel like there's the power dynamic roles where dominance is like. Well, I guess the dom can play many roles because you can be the protector, you can be the person who has all the control, you can like explain what you do.
You could be the governess, whatever they call them.
Mm-hmm.
You could be the mistress. You could be the dominatrix. Whatever that kind of dominant role, master, sir. Everyone has different dominant roles. And submissives have different roles too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with this question, it's, I guess, maybe getting into the definition of a dominant sub, which one who takes control and one who gives control.
Yes.
But then there's roles for that.
Mm-hmm.
Am I a submissive that likes to service my dominant? Am I a submissive who likes to be punished? Am I a submissive who, I don't know, just wants to be a human toilet? Whatever it is.
Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah, that's it. It's just making sure that, like she said, one person's giving the control, one person is receiving control. So
Yes. Next question is self-aftercare tips, which is very relevant given our last episode.
yes. So I think, like, for me, self aftercare tips would be like, remember to take some time to be like for yourself and like pamper yourself and be good to yourself. Um, just making sure, yeah. Just making sure that you're doing something that's just for you and that's not, at least for a sub, not for your dom, not trying to please your dom, but please yourself. And those are my self-help tips.
What's your self-aftercare?
What is my self-aftercare? I said, what I usually do is find a show that I like to watch and like have a lazy day where I'm just like not on my phone, not talking to, because I am long distance, not talking to my dom, just like watching something that I enjoy and just having like self peace and just being like, ah, and just being happy. Yeah, yeah.
My self-aftercare is a shower and then right after getting into warm blankets naked,
Ooh.
some weed,
Mm-hmm.
and a good show.
Just
Same.
sometimes just that good show to see like, yes, this is
Show.
what I needed.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And then next question, or is that all the questions you
I
have?
think, yeah, that's all the questions I have.
Okay, last question. What can I do instead of sending nudes?
Oh.
Honestly, gotta be creative.
Uh-huh.
Take on this.
Well, I guess you can, I don't, like, other than sending nudes, like, I guess you can send, like, pictures of you doing something that you enjoy or something nice, something sweet. You don't always have to be naked to be, like, sensual. You don't have to be completely naked. You can, like, have that little bit of mystery.
That tea, that little side boob action.
Uh-huh.
Sheets. Tastefully covering up areas. Just
Yes.
different poses where like your tits are on display or your ass. I don't know. If your partner is not that sexual, then I guess you doing things that they know to be sexy, whether that's like
Yep.
cleaning up the house or taking a shower behind curtains, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whatever your partner finds arousing.
Yeah, do that.
With that.
Yeah, because not everyone finds the nakedness to be their most sensual thing, sexual thing. And it's like, do whatever your partner enjoys. And send that.
Creative, play with it. If it's not something that is arousing, then it's funny. It's a memory.
True.
Remember when I put Skittles on my tit? It's just a very interesting example. Y'all, I'm high as fuck.
Me too. This indica is nice.
When
So I
you
guess we should just
when you have really deep conversations and you're high, it's really hard to keep.
yeah. I think we should just end up now. What time is it? How long have we been recording?
We will be answering questions in the next episode. So be sure to leave all of your questions in the comments or
Yeah.
DM us on Instagram. We'll leave that little tag right here again.
Yeah. And then make sure you guys just ask us questions and yeah, just put them in the comments, put them here, put them wherever we post them, go to our Instagrams. Maybe I'll put the Instagrams down below.
Okay.
So people can
All
practice.
right.
Yeah.
Take one more hit, one more bongs, and then we'll sign off.
Where is my lighter?
The one thing that disappears.
I know all
Not
this.
mine, I swear.
Oh, here it is.
Our lighters have legs, they have minds of their own.
I believe it.
All right, cheers. Oh yes. I'm gonna pass out tonight.
Say, you took an edible?
I didn't take it out. And it's gonna hit me later. All right. So this was our second episode of Perspective Sub. Yay! So go for it.
I forgot my name.
Our second episode of Perspectives of a Dom and Sub.
Thank you for tuning in to our podcast.
And it's been such a pleasure talking about negotiation and communication and answering all of your spicy questions.